You
dancing by
same thing.
myself.
You like you were just jacking off. You weren't dancing.
The Billy Idol song, Dancing with Myself, that song's about jacking it.
What?
Dude, read the lyrics.
The whole world's coming apart.
Everybody wants to be something they're not and have shit they ain't got. Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. Just be nice. You don't have to be that guy. Show some respect. Just be a person. Love one
Now we have our backdrop. And we're back. Again. So, my glasses are so dirty. Like my mind.
Oh,
Dirty. Dirty.
I'm getting
You
a
like-
little,
you
I'm
like
getting
the way
a little bit aroused.
You
Yeah,
like that? You like the way I clean those
Yeah.
glasses? Yeah.
yeah, I do.
Welcome to yet another episode of Brain Snacks.
with Jaxon and Max.
So I had to copy Jaxon. Jaxon made his cup, his water bottle, with a sticker. So I had to make a Yeti. I had to
Yeah.
outdo him.
Whatever. It's not. Yeah, not a Yeti. It's
It's an Ozark.
It's a Walmart.
Don't,
I'm just saying.
Don't hate on the Ozark, man.
Oh,
So we had an interesting week. We released an episode, and what is the date today? It's the
14th.
Sunday, November 14th. It was it 5 days ago we released? 5 days?
Something like that. 4 or 5.
So on the night, say it was 9th or the 10th when we released the previous episode.
Mhm.
The episode we released on November the 9th. Got pulled from the YouTubes, citing medical misinformation.
Yep.
And after a careful review of that video, by not just us, I had reached out to the entire Pygmy universe
Okay.
and our listener base. The feedback that I got from also not just regular jagoffs like we are, but actual medical personnel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like, at no point in the video did you guys say that vaccines don't actually work.
Yeah. We didn't.
We literally just recited the same crap that they're spouting on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. It's the same crap that Fauci says, straight out of his mouth. And then Sanjay Gupta, the same doctor that told Joe Rogan he was an idiot. Yeah. Have you not seen that episode of Joe Rogan?
The horse medicine,
Yeah.
the ivermectin stuff.
Well, he had Sanjay Gupta because he's the medical correspondent for CNN.
Mm-hmm.
They reached out to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was like, "Hell yeah, come on my podcast." And he shut him down. It was awesome. I don't want to go into that episode. I recommend you go watch it. Maybe we'll add it to the link in the description. But it's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic episode.
They smeared him for that.
Oh yeah. Well,
They had to.
this is a great segue.
Whee!
About fear. That's what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Why would you censor something? Why would you tell lies about somebody? Because you fear
information getting out.
you fear the truth, or you fear your control of the situation is fleeting, or it's slipping through your grasp.
Yeah.
So because they're afraid of somebody else's narrative, they tried to jump all over Joe Rogan. And again, YouTube has been censoring information or new videos as pertaining to COVID for how long? Like since its inception.
Well, you can, if you go and pull up a video, it's going to have like the warning label. Like it's like a pack of cigarettes, you can't, just make sure
just make sure this is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a video earlier today about, it was a Russell Brand video, and it was like the New World Order or something like that. And a little like Wikipedia thing came up, and it said the New World Order refers to a conspiracy theory about the rise of a silent totalitarian world government. Like
that doesn't sound familiar at all. At all. Does that strike a chord with anybody else?
yeah. I was like, okay, thanks.
Thanks, Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Thanks for planting that seed.
That was YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. Well, censorship has been, and it all boils down to fearing what people have to say.
Yeah.
Fearing dissenting arguments, dissenting opinions about any topic, really.
Yeah.
And again,
which really points to something a little bit bigger, because if you fear a dissenting opinion, then you're more than likely defending something that's shaky, or you're defending some sort of illusion. You know, because I say that, you can say that like on a scaled, from a scaled view, like in terms of major news, but also like in personal things, like when you go to when you have to be right about something, or like it's like it's like you fear your existence, is you're no longer gonna exist. It's like a threat. You're threatened. You know what I mean? So then you get like a sensation of fear around that. So, you know, which usually goes from like an ego, which is like our mind-made kind of concept of who we think we are,
our perception of who we are in this reality.
Yeah, like who we think we are. We have to defend that.
Okay.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you don't have to think about it, but YouTube or any other company also has some sort of ego.
Yes.
So they have some sort of
their ego is a culmination of all these other egos that have joined together through at least a semi-common purpose.
Right. Well, which
is to either make money or control a narrative.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then you have a company ego, pretty much. You have to defend that ego.
Yes.
So that's another thing.
You defend the ego brand.
All I'm saying is all that fear, that's where that comes from.
Okay.
So like the need to put up those signposts kind of stem from fear.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
and I don't feel like I created that. I feel like that's just a thing.
No.
You know.
I feel okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm following where you're at with that.
Yeah.
But what about personal fear? Like how do we define that, and how do we try to overcome that? My thoughts, based on some of the readings that I've done and my personal experience, is the more anxious you are about something, the more time you spend worrying about the possible outcome, like the less likely you are to succeed.
Yeah.
And this, again, that's fear pertaining to like anxiety about a situation. There's different kinds of anxiety, obviously, because I can be anxious in a positive way, excited about something. Mm-hmm. If you're excited, you can still be anxious because you're looking for it. Yes. Yeah. The anticipation of, banging the wife, or playing a show, Shrimp Fest, right. Playing a show in front of 10,000 people. It's all amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I get anxious, but in a different way. But I don't, because I'm confident enough in my ability as a player. I don't get anxious about, well, what if I miss a note?
What if you go? Yeah. Right.
I don't think of it in those terms because I'm confident enough in my ability as a player to be like, water off a duck's back.
It's just a thing. It's just kind of you can't help but acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if you get the fear, you have to acknowledge it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then you can go past it.
Okay. I'm thinking
in theory.
I mean, you can't, it's not. Well, everything's a theory. It's very difficult to prove, like, without a reasonable doubt, anything in this world.
Well, which is why you get fear.
Yeah. So, but if you if you can start thinking in those terms, I think that you would start conquering that
fear. Yeah.
Well, you're never going to conquer fear, but when you accept that you have no control over that fear, then it lessens its hold on you.
Yeah.
So Alan Watts whenever we were discussing the topics that we wanted to talk about today, you had brought up fear, and it made me think of Nothing More album. I'm gonna look it up real quick. The Nothing More album. I think it was.
Look it up.
No,
Look
nothing.
it up.
Oh, you said look it up. Okay. Sorry.
Whoa!
No, I think it was self-titled Nothing More album. They actually clipped Alan Watts in that, and it was from I think it was about death. But he was talking about discussing fear and the way that he presented the information, and I wish I could remember it sharp enough to quote it, but it was so.
Well, he's a sharp motherfucker.
Yes,
so it's
he was so insightful.
Pretty understandable that he kind of has a way of saying a lot without saying so much.
Well, it's much like a lot of philosophers that I've dug into, like either listened to lectures or read some of their works. What I've noticed about a lot of philosophers is they can talk and spout for like 2-3 hours, much like brain snacks.
Yeah.
They can talk for hours on the same topic, and they're repeating the same thing over and over and over again, but just in different ways that are more easily digested by different people. So it's presenting information in a way that is relatable to you, but what he relates to you in the way he phrases his philosophy. If it relates to you and you understand it and grasp onto it, but it doesn't relate to me, like I can't relate with that situation or that example, then I'm just like, well, this doesn't make any sense. That's completely foolish.
Yeah.
But in the same, 30 seconds
He'll
later,
say
or 30 minutes,
it brings everybody around.
So he does it. Alan Watts, he was doing this big circular logic, and it was like an infinite loop. He was talking about the same topic, but just giving really specific examples. Not that the example he said the examples are arbitrary, but the reason that I think a lot of philosophers keep talking in that circular logic and they can talk on one specific topic for extended periods of time is because they're trying to get that information to as many people
really come down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like it's basically a big pill to swallow, and so you kind of have to make sure that it all gets digested somehow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Which is not unlike some of the things we talk about, because we kind of riff and maybe give examples and stuff. But I wouldn't say we're philosophers just yet. But
I think at some point
we're all kind of philosophers.
Well, yeah. Well, we all contemplate, the meaning of life or the direction of our life. Or what is the ultimate purpose? Why are we here? Yeah. And again, I always fall back on the old standard. The purpose of life is to find meaning in life.
Yeah.
Find meaning for you. What's meaningful for me in my life is not necessarily going to be meaningful for you or anybody else. Again, I don't have kids. I don't plan on having kids. That doesn't resonate with a lot of people. So, and that's hardwired into human evolution is the fear of not procreating, the fear of your bloodline going away.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
And that's the funny and weird thing about life in general is it's full of all these different examples of fear and anxiety. And it's how you cope with them and how you come to accept them that starts to give you more control ultimately over them.
Right. But it's
because look at you.
It's a dance. It's not that you ever really have control over it. Kind of like
what kind of dance? Like a safety dance?
Like
you can dance if you want to.
Yeah.
Or is it like a salsa?
It can be whatever kind of dance you want.
No.
But you
dancing
the
by
same
myself.
thing. You were just jacking off. You weren't dancing.
The Billy Idol song, "Dancing with Myself." That song's about jacking it.
What,
dude? Read the lyrics.
The whole world's coming apart. Okay.
Billy Idol, "Dance with Myself," is about masturbation.
I swear
we're
gonna need to follow up on that.
If in post editing in the video room, you guys want to throw up the lyrics, and we'll take a quick 2-second cut. And we're back. Now, after reading the lyrics,
I didn't read the lyrics. That was fake. It's a shame.
Okay, don't actually do the cut. Don't actually do the cut, because I think it would be funnier that we fake the cut.
I believe you.
Okay, but no, that song's about masturbation.
Okay, I can see that.
So it's a dance.
Yeah,
whatever dance you want.
Right.
I'm sorry I interjected with masturbation.
Same thing, like with your own personal like desires. So you got, like with any kind of like hard desire with no space for it to not happen, there's always going to be a fear.
Yeah.
So you kind of dance with that in the same way. And I think it comes maybe from self-observation, like just quietly observing your own just like tendencies and just things that you maybe want or whatever. And
okay.
There's a dance that happens where you kind of balance.
Yeah. Okay. I think I understand. Where that
like,
is. But it's like the fear of change, the fear of uncertainty.
It's a pattern. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
And like, it really wouldn't matter what you apply it
to. The fear of change. But there's also, I've suffered from this.
Which stems from attachment.
Well,
you can observe your own attachments too.
Yes. But fear of success.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody in this room right now would know what to do if 2 years from now we were trending number 2 on Spotify.
Right.
I'll say imaginary success. We top Joe Rogan for whatever reason. What? Where would we be? What would we do with that kind of influence and information and the kind of finances that would go on with that?
Yeah.
I like to think that I would be extremely altruistic, but what if that money and like what if I get corrupted by that, perceived power and influence?
Yeah.
I like to think that I can hold it together and be, try to maintain being as to the best of our ability, be a positive influence on the world. But what if?
Yeah.
And that's that what if, that fear of uncertainty, that fear of not knowing, and the fear of even potential success. It can get you wrapped up and just you sink. It's like quicksand. You're just mired in it.
Yeah.
You can't move, and the more you try to get out of it by thinking your way out of it, the deeper you sink.
Yeah. The thinking is like one of the big roots of it, like how, like, cause when you're thinking constantly, you have no space.
Yeah.
There's no space between you and the fear, or you and the desire, you and the whatever. So you have no way to control where your attention's going.
Okay.
That's kind of the thing, which we talked about already, that attention is probably the most powerful thing.
Yes.
Attention and energy. Those are my 2 things.
Well, where you direct your attention and how you spend your time and attention is definitely the key to it. And sticking with the quicksand reference, I made
sticking.
Yes. Sticking. Well, no, make another reference to a previous episode because everything's connected, but it being stuck. Sometimes we reference being stuck in life and how you like to get unstuck, to break that mold, you have to apply force. Now, if you're sinking in quicksand and you keep moving, your brain is what's stuck in quicksand in my metaphor. So you're sinking. The more you try to think your way out of it, you're moving, you're constantly moving. It's not until you still your mind and rationally, slowly evaluate what's going on, and then let go and just go, okay, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. I'm here.
Yeah. Ultimately,
that's when you stop sinking.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, wherever you're at the current moment is the only thing that's ever really real. Everything else is gone, or it's not. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So if you stay more present, then you have a better chance of grappling with fear and anything that really comes at you.
Mm.
And when you get in the projection mode, I mean, you don't know, your thoughts don't know, nobody does.
Yeah.
So how are you you can't overcome that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no way for me to overcome what's going to happen in 20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist yet. So it's like
unless you have a legitimate time machine, or you are a legit soothsayer that can see the future.
Yeah.
Which, hey,
well, I mean,
I'm not going to discount it. I have no idea if it's even possible, but
yeah.
It'd be pretty sweet. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. I think it would be terrifying to know the future.
Yeah.
That would be.
Well, it'd be like, why would you even see? And this is another thing too. Like, whenever I catch myself wanting to control or project and control, like what's going to happen, like it's like I'm fearing it, but it's an imagination. I'm imagining it. It's like my overactive mind, overactive thinking is going to imagine what's going to happen. Therefore, I already know what's going to happen, but I don't. And so then it's like nothing's interesting anymore.
Yeah.
It's like all fear because I already know what's going to happen. And then sometimes it will happen that way because you manifest it that way.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah. So
Westward Ho.
Yeah. But I mean, I kind of struggle with that. Like, I'm not saying I'm special. I'm saying I struggle with having a lot of thoughts, a lot of projections, a lot of shit like that. So, and
that's a lot of creatives. A lot of creatives are that way.
Yeah,
and there's an argument that can be made that a lot of creatives are they suffer from clinical depression almost year round. And they put on a lot of people, Robin Williams being a great example, like he put on this super happy face. Now, again, talk conspiracies in a future episode. There are a lot of suicides that I'd be like, maybe I want to dive into that and as to whether or not that actually was.
Yeah.
But let's say that Robin Williams was, it was ruled a suicide, not questions. Nobody's questioning it.
I don't doubt it because like what you're saying. I mean, he's an extremely happy individual, outgoing on the surface, but and it's horrible. I'm not making fun of him, but I'm sure he would probably giggle if I said it. Like if he's looking down from, whatever comes after. If he'd moved on after he dropped the body.
If he was looking down, like, he's a sad clown. He's smiling on the outside, but on the inside, he's a sad clown, and I think that's relatable to a lot of people, especially a lot of creatives. You have to put on a very positive public face.
Yeah.
And I think, again, in the introduction episode, or maybe it was Stuck in Life when we were talking about self-image, is, I try to be the same person when I'm interacting with the fans as I am, like, not like on stage, off stage. Personal life,
you have a continuity.
Business life. I try to
keep established continuity in your life, which is like super important.
Yes,
something that I didn't realize until recently was that there was continuity. I like, it's like one situation completely filled up by it. Next situation completely filled up by it. Next situation completely filled up, overtaken by the shit.
Yes,
and it's like, holy, I'm the awareness here. I'm the one who knows all the shit's happening.
Yeah,
it's like quiet, but you just like find a home within yourself. I know that sounds kind of high in the sky.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
What are you talking about?
That was a Happy Gilmore reference.
Oh.
Are you too good for your home?
I've never seen that movie.
Happy Madison Productions.
I've seen that.
No, that Billy Madison, Happy Madison Productions. That was that actually came from Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Okay, so I was wondering why the golf club, why that was in the intro. Okay,
that was Happy Gilmore.
Was that like an Adam Sandler affiliate?
Yes.
Okay,
Adam Sandler written and starred, and the dogs. My dogs are singing the song of their people. I think Mom got home. Chrissy went out. Yeah, it's fine. We'll keep going.
Hell yeah!
Like everybody loves our dogs anyway. Come here, boys. You want to be on camera? Come here. We'll go ahead. We'll fix this real quick. Come here. Come on. Oh, yeah. Go. And now we have adorable dogs on team.
Got dogs.
So, yeah.
See,
you know what?
The interesting thing about dogs is they don't have egos.
Nope.
They haven't gotten there yet.
This one does.
Okay.
He's huge ego.
Okay.
But it's only because we spoiled him. Because now he thinks he's the king. And then this is the Duke.
Okay.
So, well, this is the Prince. This is the Duke. The Duke of Derp and the Prince de Poo Poo.
He didn't like that.
He's a pooper. Well, yeah.
You just said something. You got something to say?
You have something to say? No?
No.
But, I mean, dogs can sense emotions too. They can sense fear.
Yeah.
In their people. It's lame. Some people think it's lame. Be like, I'm his people. He's my dog. I'm his people. I'm not his owner.
Yeah.
We are symbiotic. We have a symbiotic relationship. I take care of them. Me and the wife take care of them. We love them, and they love and take care of us. And I mean, look at that face. Look at that face. How can you not love that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? But
staying on fear. Was it Alan Watts? It's a cycle of fear.
Yeah.
So when you are doing your absolute best to be afraid, you're actually giving more power to your fear. So you're afraid of being afraid.
Yeah.
Of fear.
Yeah.
And
it's like layers to that.
It's I think he said infinite onion.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant analogy, because if you think about it, it is circular logic there.
Right.
You know, you're afraid of being afraid of fear.
Right.
And then, the fear of death, and you're afraid of being afraid of dying.
Right.
And it's just, you can stack and stack and peel back all the layers. But when you give in to that fear and you accept it, and this is what Alan Watts said, when you accept that fear,
then you can go.
Then you can ultimately
something happens.
Well, then you can ultimately release it, because you realize that there's nothing to hold on to. You don't have to hold on to that fear.
Yeah.
And that, like Alan Watts, the way that he articulates it, it resonates with me so much.
Yeah.
It is such a great. He's such a great thinker
and entertainer, and
an orator.
Yeah.
Like he is such an elegant speaker, but his voice is just so.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had his voice, I would have never gotten into philosophy. I'd have just been like voiceover guy.
Yeah.
I'd be the Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
I wish I had a Morgan.
He's like the Morgan Freeman nobody knows about.
Yes. Between Alan Watts and Morgan Freeman, I mean, they could narrate my entire life, and I'd just be the happiest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
But I need Morgan Freeman to say a whole lot more often. As Max was walking down the street today, and somebody almost hit him with their car. And what the is going on today? Like, ooh, I wish I could do a better Morgan Freeman impression. I'm sorry, Morgan Freeman, if you never watch this, because you'll never watch this.
He always does the cool shit.
He always does some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Like,
he's not afraid. He's not afraid to put it out there.
Did he do Planet Earth?
Yeah. He did. He did a whole. There was a whole series on like Nat Geo or something.
I know he did like something with the cosmos, or something like that.
Was that him or Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I don't
know. Neil deGrasse Tyson did something similar.
I don't know.
Are you done? Are you done for now? Well, thank you for coming in. We had some very special guests, and they were super adorable, and I will reward them with treats later. They're like, you'll get it now, motherfucker. No, boys.
You said the T word, man.
The T word.
Hey, man.
I didn't say it all the way through, so it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I like the discussion of fear and how to overcome it. And I think until I'm presented with a better argument, I like the way that Alan Watts puts it is the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
Is give into the fear, allow it to be a part of you, and in that way, you realize that you have nothing to fear.
Yeah.
because you embrace it.
You encapsulate it.
Yes.
You're the space around it now.
Well, you are the embodiment, because being afraid is part of being alive.
Yeah.
Of being, who you are. Now he's a very metaphysical kind of philosopher, like the whole like if I am my foot, I am the sun,
which I like
kind of rationalization, and I appreciate it. I don't relate to the metaphysical side so much right now. I may later, because as we discuss in almost every episode, we're ever growing, ever changing, ever evolving.
Yeah. Now
that's not to say that I won't ever get into the metaphysical side.
Well, he has a point though with that, which
we are all part of the universe.
Yeah.
Right. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my ego that's getting in the way of me actually opening up to the bigger picture of the metaphysical philosophies.
Yeah. Maybe. But, I don't know.
But as pertaining to fear, accepting that fear that I have, whether it's fear of uncertainty, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of death, mortality, I've accepted that as part of who I am. Yeah. And that's part of who everyone is, whether they admit it or not, whether they think about it consciously or not. It's always going to be there, whether it's consciously thought about or subconsciously thought about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes a lot of people anxious. And that keeps a lot of people from, following their dreams. You have fear of change, fear of success. Well, what happens to, Willy Wonka? What happened to the kid that got everything he ever wanted?
Yeah.
He lived happily ever after. I'm like, well, yeah, but most people, we've been conditioned with so many negative, it's hard for humans to think of all the positive outcomes.
Yeah.
We always want to isolate the negative things that have happened in our life.
Yeah.
And we celebrate the good stuff, but it's so short-lived, and it's almost like we have short-term memory.
It's like a self-pity too.
On the happy things in our lives.
Yeah.
And it always, embracing the negative stuff and dwelling on it. And then even, a fear of the past.
Mm.
Going and thinking about, being afraid to go back to the person that I was before I, quit drinking. I don't want to be that person anymore. Now, this is where I think fear can be a great positive force in your life if you embrace it.
Yeah.
That fear of returning to the man that I was, 6 years ago before I quit drinking.
Mm.
That is power.
Yeah, and that's also an illusory state though, in my opinion, because
so?
Well, the same thing like with the past and the fear of the past and the fear of, oh my God, like, I can't believe I did that. Mm. I can't believe I hurt that person, or I can't believe I hurt myself or whatever that many years ago or whatever. I can't believe I was that way.
Yeah.
But if we can establish, like we did in the last episode that got taken down by YouTube, that there's a collective consciousness, and that consciousness is sort of the essence of the universe, the essence of who we are. There's no possible way that you can act beyond your level of consciousness at that given moment.
Yes.
So if there's a shift and you do work inside to become conscious that you are conscious.
Yes.
And it happens, due to whatever neuroplasticity, whatever it's called. But when things happen that are different, I mean, you are like, that really is gone. Mm. It only hangs around as a ghost.
Yeah.
It's okay for it to be there. But the fear that it's going to happen again, it could. But if you just try to stay with that continuity and then stay with your state of consciousness, like, you'll be a little bit more resilient, is what I'm saying.
Well, the example I was trying to give, and again, this
that may have been way off from what you were saying.
No. This goes back to the metaphysical realm, and because the metaphysical realm is definitely all about more collective consciousness, and I agree, we are all of one. Now, I don't think that anybody's ever going to grasp the concept completely, because I think it's unfathomable. You can't, no mere mortal, no being in the universe can comprehend the connection that we all share.
Yeah.
Now I can get behind that, and maybe it's my personal biases. Maybe it's the way that my personal thought process at current time is that I don't give enough credence to that thought or that line of logic that you were just talking about. That's why the way that I look at that fear being a power for me is, again, I see that person. I know that person. I was that person. And again, if you want to go metaphysical, I am that person.
Yeah. That history. But
that fear of going back to that mentality and, the person that was, negative and questioning himself and always wanting to put the blame, it's talking about jealousy and, blaming others for things that were obviously my fault.
Yeah.
That fear of going back to that person gives me power and motivation to never go back there.
Yeah.
And
you can look at it that way. Yeah.
And that's not me. Again, it's the whole metaphysical side. I don't understand. I don't understand it enough.
You don't have to.
No, well, nobody's gonna. I understand. I understand the core concept of the philosophy. Again, I encourage everyone. You can just YouTube search Alan Watts, AlanWatts. His lectures are fantastic. Don't do it while you're driving because it might put you to sleep, because he has a really soothing voice.
Yeah.
Really soothing voice, but he is also a really nice voice, and he explains it in a much better way than I think either of us ever could. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say potential. We all have unlimited potential, so I'm not going to say we could never do that. But he has articulated it in a much better way than we have thus far.
Right.
And the way he explains the metaphysical realities. Again, I understand on a fundamental level that no one can understand it fully or comprehend it. And he reiterates this all the time.
The hide and seek.
But
that's the hide and seek.
Part of my ego, is that I want to know.
Okay.
And I understand it. I admit it.
Yeah.
But I also embrace it because I like to learn stuff. I like to know things.
Yeah. But
what I used to do is I drink and know things. I don't do that anymore. Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
But that like that craving, like the craving for the knowledge of it though, kind of keeps you from it.
Yeah.
And I can really relate to that. And that gets into like the peace of God, spirituality, however you want to spin that. But and kind of what you believe God to be. That's been a real big changer for me.
Well,
because like in a way, God is something that, like, I don't know, like I've had a recent shift about how I thought of Jesus, and this might be a big like controversial topic to talk about. Is Jesus one day? Because
I would like to. Now my wife and her family, my family on my mother's side, Catholic. I was raised Catholic, went to catechism. On my wife's side, evangelical, Christian. I don't think they're Baptist. I don't want to mislabel them, but they're very devout. And I have never found anything wrong with that. And they have accepted.
I have before.
For these people, well, as devout as they are the kind of Christians, and this is obviously going to be my bias because these are my in-laws who actually like me. A lot of people that are married in relationships, you hear them bitching about their mother-in-law. It's like,
right.
Brenda, if you're watching this, I love you, and I know you love me, and thank you for that, because I am very fortunate to have in-laws that I actually enjoy spending time with.
Hell yeah.
But they know who I am. Like, I've made no illusions. I don't practice religion or spirituality in a traditional, in what is considered
that's
what's considered a traditional Christian sense. So yeah. I don't actively go to church. I have always felt, and I had the same
not
conversation
really what I
with
was
my mother,
talking
who's a Catholic. Well, you said controversial topic, and I'm just trying to preface that before you get into this.
Yeah.
Is that you can say it's a controversial topic about Jesus, but any true, in my opinion, any true Christian, if they are striving to be Christ-like, which is kind of the point of Christianity, if you're trying to be more Christ-like, it's to be open and accepting of everyone. That was pretty much Jesus.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think it has to do. I think it has to do.
No,
with,
I want you to continue on with your conversation, but I wanted to preface that for anybody that would want to jump on here that is a Christian and you have a disagreement with Jaxon. You don't have to say that you're going to hell, because you know what? That's not your call. That's between him and whoever he talks to upstairs.
Yeah,
or,
that's how you. If that's how you want to look at it, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and that's
sort of the thing. Like,
and that's I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I wanted to preface that because again, already YouTube algorithms have already taken us out, and I don't want the Christians to come on here and try to take us out too. When we're obviously not trying to slight, we're just trying to have a discussion.
Yeah. Well, sort of Jesus as being a human being. And the, like, not the Son of God.
Okay.
But basically his words pointing to what God actually is, and not taking any story like the Bible for anything more than a narrative to point to that. Similar to Alan Watts.
Yeah.
That sort of it's not understandable. I don't know what I was kind of getting at there, but
I'm sorry if I sidetracked you, but no, I can follow down this rabbit hole with you.
Yeah, maybe we save that for a different episode.
Well, yeah. Well, I think, in this, it's the more we talk, the more we have these conversations. I think we keep circling back to topics that we've talked about already because I think you knew it before I did. I think you were catching on to it way before I did. Is that everything is connected. Yeah. In some way, shape, or form. And it's, was it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, somebody like 6, about 6 people.
That is the greatest philosophy that, nobody really gives enough credit to.
Yeah.
Is that everything is so connected, and it's not as disconnected as people actually think.
Yeah.
So you're talking about.
I think there's a.
Well, as far as religion's concerned,
there's shit that we know already.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
and like things that, like, there's no one that's gonna come in as like a space dad or like an authority that's gonna do it for you. That's sort of what I mean. Well, the kingdom of heaven, meaning what is the kingdom of heaven? What is hell? Like they're not other places. That's sort of the thing that I like, and that's my opinion. Maybe
well, again, and this I think religion has its place in the world. I think spirituality has its place in the world. And I think you agree with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, our beliefs don't have to. We're not advocating for you to think like us, act like us, swallow what we have to say whole.
No.
We're just encouraging everyone to think. And this is actually getting our minds working. Yeah. This makes us think about our lives and potential mistakes that we may have not seen, or talking about spirituality and religion. And religion has its place because without some baseline moral code, there would be a lot more chaos. And I mean, there's no. You had discussed this whenever we were talking about topics, is how the world is chaos, and what civilization and humanity tries to do with that chaos is we try to straighten that out.
Yeah.
So you've got this coiled spring that is the world and the collective consciousness and like everything that encapsulates the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a straight line. It's not a ball, but like as an example, as a metaphor, it's a spring.
Right.
And you do everything
Potential.
you can. You do everything you can to straighten that out. That's what civilization is. That's what religion is. That's another mechanism to try to take that spring that's down here and you want to stretch it all the way out to where it's perfectly flat, perfectly straight.
Right. Yeah. Try to make sense of it.
Yes.
But we're sitting here saying we can't.
But the second that you lose that tentative grip of after straightening that spring out, what is it going to do? It's going to snap right back to chaos.
Yeah.
Right back to chaos.
Yeah.
But I think that the religion side of it has a lot in touch with fear and control.
Right.
And that's what heaven. That's what the afterlife ultimately is. And it's not just Christianity. It's the majority of religions. It was the Hindus was the reincarnation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an element.
Like your karma in your next life, like if you were say a bad person in this life, well, you're more likely to be reincarnated as like a cockroach. And that's not to say cockroaches are bad.
Yeah.
But that's just in their religion.
That's
an incentive.
That's also what I was looking for.
There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
See, this is how we work.
Yeah.
But that's your incentive to be a better person and to not take advantage or hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that you can find that philosophy
and that
across all religions.
That to me totally misses the marker though, because it's something that
you want people to be mean.
No.
No, we didn't want people to be dicks. Don't be a dick. Be a dude.
Yeah, don't be a dick. But the way to not be a dick is to not be, is to trust life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And trust. It's like entrusting. I don't know. I guess this is all too kind of real time happening for me to be articulate it well. Because I
think you brought up some excellent points.
Yeah, but we're talking about fear, and I want to keep it on topic, but it's really not off topic.
Well, using fear as a form of control. Now, again, we don't have to go back into the COVID crap, but that's all it is telling somebody, instilling a feeling of fear.
Yeah.
Of your fear of mortality. It's preying on people's fears in a way to control their actions or their responses.
Yeah. Will keep you safe.
That keeps you safe.
Pretty much.
And this all goes back to marketing and manipulation. Again, it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. And when we start to accept that, you can start to see the patterns.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that we know what's going on. We can speculate for days, but unless we have hard facts and videotape evidence, that's undoctored,
mm-hmm.
There's no way to absolutely be 100% certain about anything in this life.
Yeah.
But that you can know that we are going to be manipulated and our fears are going to be preyed upon.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's how you embrace that, how you choose to deal with that fear.
How you respond to it.
How you choose to respond to that fear.
Yeah.
That's being instilled in you is going to define ultimately your anxiety levels.
Right.
So, yeah. So try embracing the fear.
Yeah.
Own it. No, it's I don't know. It's okay to not know what's going to happen next.
Well, yeah.
It's okay.
You never do. So.
Well, and we spend a lot of time on anxiety trying to speculate about what's going to happen. What if?
Yeah.
And we talked about the what if game. Again, everything's connected in the Stuck in Life episode series. Now, it's okay to speculate, but if you spend the majority of your time on it, you're just going to give yourself a headache and you're going to be worse for the wear and a lot less happy than you would be otherwise.
Right.
So again, embrace the fear, own it, know that you have it, and then proceed on with your life.
Yep.
Know that it's there.
What you have to do.
Know that it's there, and know that there's nothing you can do about it.
The futility of it. You can't. You can couldn't possibly take action against it. I mean,
it's Alan Watts, and I'm paraphrasing because he was so much more eloquent than we are. But
yeah,
once you learn,
I'm kind of learning something here because I'm like, I don't know. It seems like almost like when I talk about it, man, like I can choke pretty easy talking about fear.
Well, once you learn to embrace the fear,
yeah,
then you realize that there is nothing to fear because there's nothing to hold on to.
And it's rarely ever the situation that you're in that you're fearing.
Yes, it's
like really what you're saying about it, you know. And it could be like unprocessed old fear too, like because the thing is like it's constantly. The instrument's constantly going to report.
Yes.
So like if you don't process it now, you're going to have to process it at some point.
Yeah.
It's going to have to come out in one way or another.
You're going to have to deal with your psychoses at some point. You can't just keep putting them off.
Right.
And that's not just fear, that's happiness, pleasure. We can go on and on and on with the psychosis, but I think there's one other aspect of fear, and we'll put a pin in this one. But the other aspect of fear that we didn't talk about is the basic programmed evolutionary response to a situation that you get put in. Let's say I approach you. You don't know me in this situation. Role playing again. This is always fun when we role play. Except
weird.
You don't have the latex on right now, so I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll deal with it. I got the ball gag somewhere.
Oh, okay.
No?
Weird.
Role playing. MMORPG, whatever. Massive multi-online player role playing game. The gamers in here know.
This guy's a weirdo.
They know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We're being held here against our will.
No.
He calls this his role playing game.
I've been signaling with Morse code on the table all episode. SOS. SOS. Somebody said help now.
Shit.
But the fight or flight mechanism is hardwired into us whenever we're put in a situation where we're afraid for our lives or well-being. And that goes into, again, evolutionary biology. That's hardwired into who we are. Yeah. So, again, you don't know me. I've got my mohawk up, leather jacket on.
Oh, he's a real badass.
I'm real badass. You don't know what I'm capable of. And what boils down to like that fear manifesting in real life and how you respond to other people is that you don't know who somebody is. Like, again, you see me walking down a dark alley after, you just finished playing a show or you just finished, going out to eat with your girl. Think you channeling your Batman if you want to, because we can go full on Bruce Wayne backstory with this
in the alley.
Yeah, in the alley. Well, Mr. Max War walking up to you. Hey, punk, give me your money. Now, again, your immediate response, adrenaline's gonna hit, dopamine level's gonna spike, and you're gonna immediately go into fight or flight mode. What are your best chances? Like, you don't even consciously think about that decision.
It just happens.
It happens automatically. You can calculate your chances of success based on my appearance. You can calculate your chances of success in beating me down or running away. Yeah. So that what are your best odds for survival? Run away or beat his ass.
Right.
And that's hardwired into us. But that's all fear based.
Right.
And it's based that fear.
But the thing, like, I'm glad you said that, because that's the thing too. Like, it does manifest in the body in the same way, even when it's created by the mind. It's just that fear has such a big, like, apparent presence that you think you have to run from it. Mm. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
And that's, again,
I mean, that's a conclusion that I'm coming to, but I mean, that still doesn't, that doesn't solve the problem of it. It just kind of makes sense. Well, like there's no, when there's a physical threat, you can, like, almost know without a doubt, like if you got it or what, you know what you need to do. But when it's invisible, I mean, it can get, like, go as big as it wants to go.
Well, there's no way to fix fear. Yeah. The only way to overcome it is to own it. Yeah. To embrace it. I think.
You're right. I think you're right.
Because if you own it, then you don't let the fear control you. You're not spending so much time obsessing about fear, and you'll be a lot less anxious in life because you're not thinking about what if this bad thing happens, or, what if Jackson's going to cut me when if I met up with you in a dark alley, but also that can also pertain to your own personal biases. Because if you were a clean cut Jackson and you saw Mohawked Max War walking down,
what the is this punk doing in my alley?
And would you feel threatened?
Yeah.
Because, again, theoretically, if you're a clean cut individual, you don't have friends that look like me, that dress like me, that act like me. Your initial reaction just from my physical appearance is going to evoke a fight or flight mechanism before I would even talk to you. And there's a reason that people don't interact. Like there are certain neighborhoods that people won't drive through out of a certain perception that they are a bias that they have, whether it's conscious or unconscious.
Yeah. And that's
I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm saying this is something that you should analyze on a personal level. This is not something that somebody can tell you how to fix. You have to fix it yourself.
Yeah.
You have to embrace that fear.
Those are your patterns. Like,
embrace that fear and say, I don't actually know the people in this neighborhood. Why do I have anything to fear from them?
Yeah, it's neutral. Like the situation's neutral.
Yes,
but you're charged.
And they should have nothing to fear from me.
Right.
As long as again,
as long as we're assuming everybody's cool here.
We're assuming that you're not being a douche.
Yeah.
So, with that, let's go ahead and shut this one down. I got to pee on something anyway. So.
Okay, me too.
But this was a good talk on fear, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing up and suggesting this topic.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Boom. We'll be back with more.
Did you subscribe?